We will not advance with more equality or transcend as individuals or as a collective until we abolish the victim mindset and fear being projected. I understand this because I have faced multiple life experiences that have tested me in this area. You know, will I choose to be a victim, or will I choose to become master of myself? So I want to share the wisdom, insights that I have learned through my life experiences with you guys, as well as, of course, getting some psychic tarot messages. So I'm going to go ahead and start shuffling those out as I speak to you. So just a little background. Some of the experiences that I've had have been childhood abuse, and I've witnessed sexual abuse. I have seen the emotional and seen the physical abuse. I experienced domestic assault about a couple of years ago, and I've experienced insults and hate in regards to my race, in regards to my sexuality, in regards to just my appearance, the work that I do, you name it. I have experienced and received that backlash and the hate and been tested. And I'm sure many of you watching have experienced this yourself. You know, you have been in some way victim or prey to these insults, these personal attacks. And yes, they are real, but how we react and how we treat those kinds of insults, those kinds of psychic attacks, physical attacks, how we treat that, how we react to that is so key and so powerful and shifts our energy incredibly. Incredibly. So something that I actually did whenever I faced my domestic assault case with my partner, you know, when you go through the courts, they literally label you as the victim. That is the label. They label you as the victim. And that was probably one of the biggest ones that I had to heal from and overcome. And it was one of the biggest lessons of my life. And I did end up healing from it and transcending from it. And let me tell you, I've not had problems being in that kind of position again. Now, not everyone can do this. But what I did specifically with this was a year later, I met with this ex-partner who did physically assault me and harm me. I met with them. We had a discussion. We discussed our feelings and we got closure that way by meeting, discussing, and then embracing, hugging each other afterwards. Now, like I said, I know not everyone can do that or may be comfortable, you know, in overcoming that fear or that person or that situation that caused that fear and trauma. Not everyone can do that. So what I recommend for people who can't or are maybe just too nervous to do that is write about it. Write your story, get it out on paper, or write a letter to that person or situation that hurt you, that made you feel like you were helpless, like a victim. Write to that person, and then write to yourself how you would have responded differently, the advice, encouragement that you would give yourself looking back. And so these are some things, practical steps that you can just take in overcoming this. You know, another example would be like deciding to start a social group that revolves around empowering people who have gone through assault, who have gone through emotional or physical trauma, who have gone through, you know, a number of experiences. You know, that's another example. I mean, you'll be surprised how it really does involve acting. You have to act. You have to act. First card coming up here is the Seven of Pentacles. I wrote down something else that came to me intuitively, and I want to share it with you guys. It's you overcome your fear by facing it or doing the thing you fear. You take action although you're scared, with the intention of learning and positively evolving. So I'm going to say this one more time real quick because I feel like it's really powerful. You overcome your fear by facing it or doing the thing you fear. You take action although you're scared with the intention of learning and positively evolving. You know, there is an experience that I had in high school. It was this class, I can't remember the name of the class, but it was probably one of my very favorite courses I took in high school. And we went to a ropes course. There was about 20 of us. And in that ropes course, our fear was tested. Our sense of, oh, what makes me feel uncomfortable and afraid, or, ooh, poor me, you know, that kind of stuff was tested. One of the first things we did was a trust fall. And as I'm saying that, I feel like trust has a lot to do with victimhood, right? A lot of people fall into this victim mindset because they don't trust, they can't trust themselves, and they feel like they can't trust other people. Interesting, next card popping out is Nine of Pentacles. Well, I feel like this one wants to come out. Ace of Wands. But it's because a lot of people have lost, like I said, their trust within themselves and within other people. It's part of the inner narrative going on. Anyway, so this trust fall was powerful in overcoming that and fear in general. It was so elevating, and I was the first one who volunteered. Everyone else was super scared to try it and everything, and I was scared too. Don't get me wrong. Every experience that I faced, domestic assault, the abuse in childhood, moving away at an early age, like all these things, it was scary. It was always scary. But I decided to do this trust fall, and I was like, you know, someone's got to be bold and step up and do it, you know, right? And so I did it. And although it was scary, and I was like, I don't know if they're going to catch me. I don't know if I can trust these people. I don't know if I should allow myself to take such bold and risky action. And so uniquely, it was like, do I trust myself to put myself in this position? And do I trust others, these other people. And, you know, they caught me, of course, and it was a great exercise. It was a great trust and fear exercise. And after that, I felt elevated. I felt, wow, you know, there's hope. This was exciting. There is reward and mental, emotional, spiritual transcendence that happens when you allow yourself to take that kind of action. You take that courageous step, even though you are scared. You're going to be scared. You're going to be nervous. But you have to do that, and you have to ask yourself some deep questions. Ask yourself what your motives are. And, you know, sometimes people get comfortable being the victim, right? That's why we see a lot of people staying in that mindset. And usually victims are very dependent on organizations or other people. Even though they have often that fear of intimacy, you know, intimate trust and stuff, they still... It usually goes back to, well, I don't know if I can trust myself, because when I put myself in this position, you know, I spoke out or I stood out or whatever, I was shut down, I was rejected, or I was harmed in some way. Two of Swords. And this is all the stuff that goes on. You know, I know, I understand, it's natural. But we have to learn from the mistakes, from the traumas, guys. We have to decide to look at it as a lesson instead of, I can't believe this thing happened to me. We have to look at it as, this thing happened to me. Knight of Pentacles. This thing happened to me. And it taught me some things. Some dark things about myself. It taught me some scary or dark things about other people. But it taught me something. And I am all the wiser for it. Are you still living, guys? Are you still breathing? Are you still living? Are you still breathing? Are you utterly and completely enslaved? If you continue down that victim path, where you choose to be a victim, you choose to live in fear, you choose to be in that dark place, then, you know, it's hard to get out of. And I forgot the other point I was going to make with that. I'm sure it'll come back here. I'm just waiting for one more card to pop out, guys, and we're just going to briefly go over what the tarot has to say about all this. I'm just kind of letting the cards show up as I'm talking through this. Woo! Okay. That just felt like a me mistake, so I'm just going to reshuffle. We're going to wait for one more to pop out. But, excuse me, I've got like this incredible itch. When you're also in that victim mindset, you feel constantly pulled back and forth. You know, you're fighting yourself. You're fighting usually at least two or more different narratives, storylines. battling with those storylines and narratives. It's kind of beautiful. I like the Seven of Pentacles showing up here in the center because it says, initially, guys, you know, breaking and freeing yourself from victimhood and blossoming into self-mastery. The Seven of Pentacles says in order to do that, in order to get there, it's about taking small steps. Taking small steps and recognizing that each step is growth. Each step is advancement. But take the step, even if it's nerve-wracking. And it says, Seven of Pentacles, yeah, be patient with yourself. Be patient with yourself, but you have to learn to trust yourself again and get in this space of Nine of Pentacles. This woman is completely confident and feels her value and is confident in her value so much that it is reflective in her physical world. Being in a fear-based mindset or a victim mindset, it goes back to your value and your worth. What is it that you're not valuing about yourself, about your race, about your sexuality, about your appearance, about your creative work? What is it? You know, or what is the lack? The Nine of Pentacles is saying, you know, lack does not live here. Last card showing up is the Eight of Cups. Ace of Wands. The deep psychology with this and how to maneuver this is using your energy to break free and receiving the signals, the messages of empowerment you get, of courage, of inspiration, not pushing those away. Because when we're in that victim mindset, especially fear as well, but victim more so, when we're in that mindset, we get into this place of, oh, I have to push it away, because if I accept it, it means I'm accepting responsibility. It means I'm accepting empowerment. And I've been trained, you know, we subconsciously train ourselves, oh, but it's comfortable being the victim. It's comfortable, you know, here because it feels safe. Because it feels safe. You know, they labeled me as a victim in that domestic assault case with my partner. And for a while, yeah, I would just shut myself in my house. Or if I'd go on a walk, even though I had my dog with me, I would take a weapon with me because I was afraid. But breaking free, breaking out of this through inspired action. And the Ace of Wands says this is taking new action, a new approach, looking at new motivational methods, looking at new ways of inspiring and motivating yourself to get back into reclaiming Ace of Wands is about reclaiming yourself, your identity, yourself in a whole new, energized, and courageous, empowering, confident way. Knight of Pentacles shows up next. I see this almost as, you see the Knight of Pentacles looking at the Seven of Pentacles in this spread here, and it's almost like, I feel like it's saying, accept this gift of knowledge, these lessons that were offered to you through the trauma, through the difficult experiences, through what you're facing right now or have faced in the past. There was value. It's Pentacles. There was value in it. There was value in that journey. The difficult struggle that you had to go through the trauma you had to go through, there was value in it. You can take it and you can make something beautiful out of it now. And that's, again, going back to the Seven of Pentacles being at the center here. This is growing and manifesting something beautiful out of that state of victimhood, of fear. It's growing past it, rising and growing above it. Eight of Cups. Interesting. I love that it ends with this because I see it as soul transcendence and giving yourself that reflective time. I'm going to go ahead and get one more card because that's who I am. That's what I like to do. I like to get a little added clarity. But with this Eight of Cups, it's when you address those internal dialogues, those internal dark places that you consider dark, that you consider things that you have to keep hidden and tucked away from others, from the world. When you let those surface and you allow yourself to reflect on those and you make friends with those, you make friends with those wounds, with those demons, with the person or situation that caused you pain, you transcend and move up the mountain as this person is. I see them walking up the mountain. You gain enlightenment with that moon energy there. If you stay stuck and you don't choose to move, like the Two of Swords shows here, you choose to stay stuck mentally, you don't take action and allow yourself new vision, a new motivational dialogue, a new motivational something that gets you motivated, whether it's, an action or whether it's creating something new and doing something you've never done before. If you don't allow yourself to do that, then you will stay stuck in this Two of Swords where it feels like a constant battle inside. And it feels like you'll be constantly stuck in victimhood, stuck in fear. But it is very much a choice, guys, is what this whole reading is saying. It's what I'm saying and intuitively sharing with you. It's very much a choice. We are living in an age where we really have moved past so many unhealthy dialogues and restrictions, you know, mental restrictions and boundaries that were in place before. And it's about choice, ultimately, for yourself. You can create a fortunate, successful, beautiful life for yourself. You are in control of the adventure and journey you take. You are also your own knight, your own warrior. And if you want to step out of that victimhood, of that fear mindset, you have to take on that knightly, warrior, fighter-like role. And it does start with acceptance and forgiveness. Ultimately, a death card showed up. Major Arcana here as clarity. What this is saying is you have to allow yourself to completely transform from this and accept that change, that a big change is going to happen when you are faced with these things, with these uncomfortable, fearful things, and things that make you feel like you're a victim, that you're slave to your appearance or sexuality or whatever entities and the media and stuff try to tell you. But you are not. Death card says you can completely transform, move past that, and wipe the slate completely clean. The death card can actually be very empowering, especially in that way. But you have to let it go. You have to end it. You have to jolt yourself out of it. And you have that power. You have that energy, that vitality, force within you to do that. You do. It's about mustering up courage and inspiration and motivation from different sources like you've never done before. I mean, especially these two together, Death and Ace of Wands, this is like the phoenix, okay? That phoenix energy rising from the ashes. And in order for you as an individual, and you as an individual affect the collective, affect all of humanity. So you and contributing to all of the collective are really being encouraged and asked here to move past any sort of victimization you have going on around yourself, around your life, and the fears that you have. Death is totally about facing your fears. 8 of Cups and Death together up here. This is totally about self-reflecting on your fears and making friends with them, not running away from them anymore. Facing them courageously, boldly, facing yourself courageously, boldly. And that fear and victim mindset and dialogue going on. Remember, you are in control of your own journey, of the value and fortune that you produce, that you can create. This is beautiful. I love what's shown up here, guys. I hope that this is inspiring for a lot of you out there, and it all really is within the action. You know, it starts with acceptance, forgiveness, and a conscious decision, guys, a conscious decision to end that toxic mindset of these things and be bold and empowered and become master of yourself, which ultimately is achieved by taking the action that gives you new motivation, inspiration, and empowerment. Taking the knowledge that you learned in the past, but moving forward with the new. So, you are more than capable, my lovely people. If you do want to do a personal one-on-one reading, want to look at the depths of something for yourself, book with me at the link, at the Etsy shop link below in the descriptions box, and we'll move through this together. So all the very best to all of you. Remember, you can be the change that you want to see. You are master of yourself. You are not a victim. You are your own transcendent master.